So apparently there was a football match today. I believe it was between Nottingham Forest and Aston Villa. And ladies and gentlemen, as Ez's background, the Midlands is red. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the party stream. Welcome to what, for me, probably outside the Arsenal game last year, was the best. I'm going to put my neck on the line here. The best performance I've seen since we've been back in the Premier League. Everything for me, guys, was absolutely spot on. And I am still absolutely buzzing. In fact, I am officially a happy clapper tonight. How are you boys in the panel doing? How are you guys in the chat doing? Dina, how are you, bud?
I'm great, mate. Absolutely fine. What a great game today. I loved it.
Mate, I'm loving that training top on you. It's really showing the pecs off, mate.
I got below down, it shows the belly off as well.
That beard, it does clench, doesn't it?
This one does.
Wonder, how are you, bud?
Yo, I'm good, man. Yeah, today was good, man. So it was a good feeling coming out of that game today. Going into that game as well, but I'll talk about it later. It was a different atmosphere for me today. So yeah, I'll talk more about that in a bit. But yeah, buzzing after our result.
And Antonio, how are you, mate? How are you? Usually you've got no energy for a night stream.
Wow, what a player. What a bunch of players we've got. See? Said all along, we've got the players. Just need the right system.
I gotta say, Michael, I think Michael's in the chat. He'll know what I'm talking about. And any of you on TikTok, I couldn't have paid, like, you know, my combined 11 that I do. Yeah. By the way, I was pretty much spot on it, right? Somewhere, I couldn't have paid a Villa fan the amount of money this guy put in there. His comment was, "Who is Einar?" Laughing emoji, right? Oh God, guys, if you got TikTok and you're not following us, I've been cooking those fucking vanilla fans all evening. Make sure you check it out after the stream. Oh, it's been such a good day. There's my boy Michael right there. He knows what I'm talking about. But before we get into it, before we start cooking Villa and praising Forest, there are things that are way, way more important than football. And I thought today was just completely fitting. Starting with the Adam Johnson thing. I mean, it was just written that we would score in the 47th minute by Mangala, whose middle name is what, chaps? Pop quiz for you guys.
Adam?
No.
It's not Johnson, is it?
Panthers. It is Johnson.
It's Johnson.
Is it?
What?
Mangala. Okay. Or Johnson Mangala. Okay.
How fitting is that, right?
Yeah,
that's amazing. That is amazing.
When it's written, it's written. It really is. And then a rainbow appears as well at the same time. It's just beautiful. Everything about today was beautiful. 47th minute. Johnson, middle name Johnson. There you go. Crypto knows his shit. And then thank you to Martinez, not the Bell End door winner, the Bell End or door winner, mate. That's what he was. And then, of course, I think we got to have a quick shout out to the kid on the trumpet as well. What a performance from him, Ez. What was it like?
That started the day beautifully, that did. It was a beautiful rendition. Garners.
Yeah, no, I think a special shout out to the young lad. His name's Caden Story. He's only 13 years old, and you know what? To do what he did, to even have the guts to even go out there, he should be immensely proud of himself. And it was really, really touching how the players came around him and basically tried to cheer him up. He's got nothing to be upset about or ashamed about. He was brilliant, and takes a lot
fantastic to me.
He did, and the rendition was absolutely brilliant, because I didn't realize it was. I saw obviously the two servicemen come out with the young lad in the middle. I didn't realize it was him actually playing the trumpet until I looked up, and I was like, wow, you know. And bless him, he just ran out of steam, you know, ran out of breath more than anything else. But also the nerves, you know. It's not for me to talk about his backstory, but the young lad's had a tough time as well. So you know, everybody get round him. You know, his name's Caden. Give him your love, because that's what we do here at Forest Fan TV. You know, we're a big family.
Can I just add to that? That my brother, myself, and Crypto, we held up a banner, you know, lest they forget banner. So I was kind of looking through that. So I couldn't actually see the lad. And I was actually thinking before I saw him, God, this is a beautiful, you know, pitch perfect rendition. And I actually thought to myself, because I thought it was a fully grown, experienced soldier doing it, who'd done it at lots of parades and stuff.
Yeah.
Even with that, I was thinking, God, can you imagine you're the only sound in a stadium like this in front of 30,000 people? God, he must have some guts. So you can imagine when I saw it as a young lad, it was fantastic. Fantastic.
Yeah, I don't think people understand how
by
hard it is.
the way, blowing a bugle is what is so difficult. It's so difficult to pick those notes out. And I think he just ran out of a bit of breath at the end. Yeah. And that's all it was.
That's what you're going wrong with it, Ant, if you spit it into it, mate.
No, but honestly,
he's never had any complaints yet.
Oh, it's gonna be one of those streams. But
it's always one of those streams.
Right? Even when we met Pierce the other day in front of, what was it, 200 people? Yeah, we've done loads of live events and stuff. All right, I was just standing there and I wasn't nervous, but the words weren't coming out. You lot saw me, you know? It was like, oh, stupid. It's like, let alone doing it in front of 30-odd thousand, yeah, being that young. So big props to him. And that kind of set off the day in the perfect tone. I was saying on the live stream at the start, boys, I was like, I've got a weird feeling. I don't know if it's a good weird feeling or a bad weird feeling. I just had a weird feeling. Got us.
Let me touch on that as well, because I was speaking to Ant before we went into the stadium. I was like, first off, I was like, loved the lineup. First off, things first. Let's have a look at that starting lineup. Really happy with that when I saw it, and props to Cooper for having the guts to play that formation for a start, and for playing the players. Maybe not, you know, people will argue that Niakate is a round peg in a square hole, but he was brilliant today, you know. So first off, seeing a lineup really cheered me up. Once I got into the stadium, we sat down. I said to Ant and Nathan, who sat next to me, that I know I'd missed the last couple of games for family reasons and personal reasons and so on and so forth, but it just felt different today. The atmosphere felt different. The anticipation amongst the crowd. I think that starting lineup made a big difference in how people's perception was. And one of the things I said to Ant is, you know, we've started well in games, but we haven't scored early goals. I'd love to see an early goal today. And you know what? Everything happened as well as I could have asked for it. So, you know, that was my opening thoughts going into it, and I wasn't disappointed at all.
Well, let's touch on the team, because I praised it when I saw it. I didn't think there was much you could really change in there. And there was some big calls, and we have to go to Mr. Dino Turner over here. Thoughts, Dino, on the keeper change?
Well, according to your scores, he was world class, but he didn't have a great deal to do, did he? But he was solid.
Are you joking?
Yeah, he was solid. He just had that one save down the corner, which wasn't hit very hard, and punched a couple. He was all right. I mean, he's all right. Listen, you need to get it out of your thick head that I am anti-Vlachodimos and pro. What the only thing I've ever said, and I've got receipts for it, is that he didn't deserve to get dropped. That's all I said. I'm not a Turner lover. Go look back. I've got receipts for it.
That's a bit of revisionism.
And I also said, I'm not bothered who the number one keeper is. I'm going to fucking clip it, you know, and I'm going to send you a little
backtracking going on there.
Isn't there? No, I'm going to send a reel to you little bastards on this panel, honestly.
Oh, the little.
Hey, don't include me, Dino. You know I'm the nice guy on here. Don't include me in that. I never.
Hey, this ain't gonna be a brown-white thing, is it?
I'm delighted. We've got two good keepers for a change.
I just saw us changing. Go on, Anne. I was going to say I just saw us changing the whole back line.
To back my friend Dino, I was just going to say, I thought Vlachodimos had a good game. Nothing more. He didn't need to do any more. He just had a good game. I mean, you know, 7 out of 10 for me. Just a good game. He didn't have to use any great saves or anything. He didn't come and claim the ball in difficult areas.
No, do you know what?
He had a standard. Exactly. So you can't give him a 9 because that's exceptional.
Do you know what?
What are you going to do if he
Chat,
pulls
leave
out
me
a
alone.
save? Give him a 12.
I would
Chat,
argue
leave me
it wasn't
alone.
just
I've
about.
done nothing wrong.
I would
Go on,
argue it's
Ed,
not
go
just
on,
about
let's
what he
listen.
did. I would argue it's not just about what he did or what he had to do. It was a kind of I felt the back line looked more confident with him there.
Yeah.
And I haven't had that with
I'll be
Turner.
honest with you.
Oh,
I
man,
did
let him
feel
finish.
more
Go on, Ez. I
confident
like
with
where you're
him.
going. I like where you're
No,
going.
let me just say to do that. I agree with Ez. I did, to be honest, feel more confident with him than I do when Turner's back there. I always feel Turner's a bit edgy, and he could mess it up. Whereas I didn't feel that with him at all. I did feel comfortable.
And you kind of sometimes feel like that rubs off on the players as well. Today, like I said, we were confident as fans watching him, and that must rub off onto the players in front of him. I think he did everything he needed to do. He time wasted as well when he went down injured. He wasn't injured at all. He's a professional. He knows what he's doing. He's played in big games. I think he was a big difference today. I might be overplaying it, but we saw a new back four today as well, which I really like. So including him as a back five, I was really impressed with our setup today. They barely laid a glove on us, mate, and they're a top attacking team, and we can't underestimate how well they've done. At home, obviously, they've got most of the results, but they have scored goals away from home. We kept them out, mate, and they hardly laid a finger on us. So I was really impressed with the whole setup of that back five.
You know, the difference I saw in the whole team, because it was difficult to pick a man of the match for me today. So I thought the team played well. The difference for me, like Liverpool and some other games as well, was a lot of confidence today. There was a lot of confidence, and we stepped up the pitch a bit more. And I think confidence is obviously a big thing in football, isn't it?
Yeah.
And they did play with more confidence. And some people would say that they didn't turn up and they looked bad. We made them look bad. We didn't give them an ounce of space. We're mid-block again. And even at the end when we were low blocking, we looked comfortable. And they didn't have many shots.
Well, they had plenty of shots, just nowhere near target.
Nothing.
And this shots, even if you miss kick it and it dribbles out near the corner flag, it's classed as a shot. You know what I mean? So it doesn't always show the true picture. I felt comfortable today, and I felt energized and excited by what was happening. What was happening. And I've got to be honest, I've not felt that for quite some time. It's always a worry going down.
First time this season, definitely.
They still Go on, sorry. I thought you'd finished.
I was just going to say, and regarding people have put in the chat, the City ground was rocking. Yes, because we were playing a decent side. There wasn't that sense of entitlement that we've had against Brentford, Burnley, Sheffield.
Or was it because we played well? And was it because we were playing well in that first half?
Well, of course.
That as well. It has to be part of it. I agree with that comment there. I just thought Ant was going to go into his rant about their manager, which I'll let you do at some point because he was bending my ear about it. He was bending my ear about it. But he's right. I mean, the atmosphere was really good. And maybe it is that we've been... our expectations, we spoke about expectations earlier on in the season. Maybe our expectations against these lower teams that we should have been beaten at home were result of why the atmosphere was the way it was. But today, against a good team, against a full, I mean, they brought all their fans. They didn't make much noise. We drowned them out every time they tried to pipe up. But there was a good atmosphere in the ground all over, and I think it helped. But what really helped was getting the goals at the right time. It was key to how the game went on, to be honest. There was no doubt that for early goal in the second half made a big difference in how but the end of the game, the way the fans, the last 4 or 5 minutes, we were just singing all through injury time. We were just singing, cheering the players on, and I thought it was really good. I'm really impressed by the whole atmosphere today.
And I want to ask you about the centre-back pairing, because I thought it was really brave by Cooper to drop Bully, or Bully is really struggling with this jet lag. It's got to be one of the two. I'm not sure which one you think it is, right? But what did you think pre and post match? And chat, what do you think now is our best pairing? How did you feel Niakate being on the right and Murillo on the left?
Well, absolutely with Des, when I saw the team sheet, I thought, wow, I can't complain. I love it. I can't complain. It's all up to the players now. Cooper's done his bit, providing we, play the right tactics, we'll be fine. I've never subscribed to this if he's left-footed playing. I mean, obviously that's preferable. Left footer on the left and right footer on the right. but some of the best central defenders in the world have played on the opposite side to what their foot is. It's no the only I think the only time I noticed it was a slight issue with Niakate. It was when he was actually coming out from the right and he had to pass the ball with his right foot up the line. It tended to kind of go out or something because obviously he's
slice a little,
yeah. So that's the only like where he would be better on the left. But I'd have him on the right because I love Willy Bolly. But Willy Bolly is a blocker, he's a stopper, he's who you want in the trenches for the last 20 minutes when you're up against Liverpool. Yeah, that's who you want. But if you want a ball playing centre back who's quick, sharp, gets his, and when he heads the ball, he fucking heads it, and can progress the ball as well, then you want a more classy, a more silky central defender, and that's what Niakate is. So I love Bolly, but I would always pick Niakate ahead of him.
You know, I think for me, what I kind of agree with what Ant's saying, but I'm going to slightly tweak it. I love Bolly. I think he's been our best player this season so far, but he's not a ball carrier out of the back, whereas Niakate is, and Murillo is as well, and they're units. And the way Murillo heads that ball, it must be Brazilian genes. It reminds me a lot of the way, you remember Felipe doing it last season? Just thumped through it, you know?
Who's Felipe?
Huh?
Who's Felipe?
He's the most beautiful man on the planet. That's
He's
who
the
he is.
most beautiful man in the world.
He's our new centre-back coach.
Yeah, it basically is, isn't it? But yeah, it was good to see. So like, I feel sorry for Bolly, but Dina, is it not good to have these headaches rather than think, oh, let's take out, I don't know, Steve Cook because he was shit, and let's see if we can find someone less shit. This is now getting to the stage where if you don't perform, you've got two people in weight who are ready to step in. So you damn well better have your A game in, game out. And this is a good problem, surely.
Yeah, I mean, the teams that do well, people like, I know I'm not measuring us against Man City, but people like Man City, the difference between them and why they win the title and win so many trophies is that because their bench is just red hot and it literally walk into any other team. We're now getting to the point where our bench is quite strong, in my opinion. I mean, we've got, obviously in defence, we've got Bolly, who don't deserve to get dropped, but how can he get back in with those two playing like that today? And then you've got Emma Bamadele coming in as well. That might not even get a sniff.
Nino, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Another one. I mean, that does spell the end
play
for
with
some of
five
them.
centre-backs, don't they, Dino? Man City play with five centre-backs across the back five, so maybe that's where we're heading. Maybe
it's Man City. But, you know, we've got strength in depth now. And when January comes and all the injuries start, we're well covered. Whereas teams around us, I mean, we really got good cover all up the pitch other than up front. And I think we're only 3 more players away from being a top 8 side, seriously, and it's just those 3 positions up the front with 2 wingers and another attacker. And I think we're a top 8 side on paper.
In the words of Morpheus, he's beginning to believe. Welcome to the European.
And a shout out for Cooper today. I'm one of the ones that.
Oh, mate, he nailed it.
Mate, he got it bang on today, and well done to him. You know, good substitute. Just everything was good. Everything. How we sent the players out. You know what I was scared about when the half time came? I thought, right, we're going to crumble second half because he's going to give that, whatever team talk he normally does when we come out crap, and we didn't. So
for me,
fair play to him.
Lineup, 10 out of 10. Substitutions. I think apart from Tough, I think he got injured. I'm not sure what the story is behind him. The substitutions all were fine, and he didn't really break the spine up. So he's learned from that Luton mistake, which was good to see. Yeah. Also, his post-match interview is the best interview I've seen him do in 18 months.
I've not watched it yet. So
it just felt like he was actually talking on a level, and he broke down the game spot on, and the way
he looked like a man who's had a bit of pressure taken off him.
Oh yeah, I'll bet he has.
Yeah, he has.
Fair play.
Side there.
Absolute fair play. Yeah. And
not only being a good side, we could have scored a lot more. If it wasn't for being offside, I mean, they played with such a high. Why were they playing with such a high line? I mean, it's going to be teams to tear them to pieces.
This is coming on to Emri talk, don't you?
We'll come
okay, I won't piss on your strawberries. Don't worry, you go.
Yeah, but it was the tactics were spot on because of that high line. He even said it in his post-match. The ball didn't need to be accurate over the top into the space because you had the pace to do it. My biggest issue, if I'm going to have a gripe today, is Why can't we stay on side? We've got the pace at the front and the timing of the runs. They didn't have to be that tight on the high line. And Gunners.
But a couple of times I think we were onside. We were just so quick to put that flag up. We were so quick to, because we got to the stage where we were right in line with it, especially in that first half, weren't we, Jan? And we were calling it every single time, whether it was onside or offside. And a couple of times there's no chance it was offside.
The one was completely onside. Was completely onside, and they flagged it. You know, the one that really got my ass up was where he gave a foul for the Danilo. Yeah, for the Dominguez tackle. When Dominguez tackle,
could have played it on.
That was completely not a foul. It was so clean. It was so brown envelope today, man.
Yeah, but he should have played it on. Is it the one where Tyro went through?
Yeah,
and he blew up. Yeah, he should have played it on and scored, and then gone back to VAR. I don't know why they didn't do that. The referee and the assistants were shocking today.
One hand just like that in the second half as well, where he blew up. And we were all saying for offside, it didn't look offside. It may have been, but it's very close. And I can't remember. I think it may have been Danilo or somebody was through. And we all said the same. Why didn't you do what they mostly do? Allow the goal and then go back and have a look.
Exactly. It's an absolute joke. Yeah, that chap was saying it. He had his top on. Just a couple of quick shout outs. 1865 for 12 months, bro. What a day to get your 12th month anniversary, man. Thank you so much. And the beautiful Nikki. $4.99, you absolute legend. Massive love and thanks to FFTV and Red Dog Will.
Sorry we didn't get to see you.
Day. Thank you. What an amazing Forest community family. Sorry I missed the lads. He did message me literally 10 minutes before kickoff. It's like, I haven't seen Ant and Ez. What do I do?
we were usual spot guys.
Next time, Nikki. Next time, mate. Next time.
Let
me know. Don't rely on any of the rest of them. Let me know, and I'll make sure that we.
But that's always worked.
Let's not go into that. Okay. I want to
say a couple of things. First of all, people, let's have the lights. You're not doing bad. Actually, you're doing awful. Come on.
82.
Nearly 400 of you in, guys.
400 in here. Over 482 likes. Make sure you subscribe if you're new as well.
It doesn't cost you anything. We don't get any financial benefit from it whatsoever, but all
I still need a laptop by the way as well, guys.
It helps the algorithm.
The laptop fund is getting the laptop fund's ongoing. Thank you. I can see them coming in.
And the other point I wanted to make is I noticed today that the subs were on 14,987 or something. Is that correct?
14,936. So we are, what's that? 64 away from 15K. What a night to get 15K. If you guys can make that.
So if anybody's not subscribed, just click that button and make us happy.
Yeah, absolutely. And my God, the wallets are coming out. Freaking out. Sharky with the £5.
Laptop incoming.
Love you, Sharky.
Thank you, Sharky.
Sharky, we love you, and we all are tonight. It's absolutely a cracking result. And fair play to Cooper and the boys. And the Red Dog himself, 20 quid. Will, that's way too much. Look at that beautiful profile.
That's because he was too poor to go to the match today, and that's what he would have spent on burgers. So he's got a bit of spare.
No, bless him. Yeah, no, shout out to Will. He's not been well, but thanks to Will, Nikki got to go. So this is it. We look after each other, you know, if we can't make it to the game. And guys, do ask us, you know, we do keep an eye on the WhatsApp group and everything, because we do have tickets come up every now and again, and it's usually last minute, but it's usually because somebody's had to pull out. So if you bear that in mind, you know, we do our best to try and get our fans to the games, because we know how hard it is, and we appreciate that. So big shout out to Will.
You got some fans.
And
I've got those fans, mate.
And I'm sad. I haven't been to the City Ground for 11 months now. It's killing me. But yeah, I'd rather get the guys.
Another thing. Sorry, I've got another point, a third point here. For all those tossers out there that don't know what happens backstage and behind the scenes at FFTV, you know, I've had people accusing Wolfie of all sorts of, you know, not being a Forest fan and everything. I hope he doesn't mind me saying this, but it was. We were messaging each other today, and he was saying he's really fed up. He'd love to go to a game. He really misses it, but he feels a responsibility to the viewers to do the watch-alongs. So he's actually sacrificing days like today that he could have had to bring content to you guys. So You know, I hope
true.
everybody realize.
Yeah, but at the same time, man, honestly, the guys in the chat are just on another.
Oh,
level.
I know.
It's like being there. It's like being there with them. Yeah, I really do miss it. I really do. But you know, it is what it is. And also, I'm worried that like Man City and Arsenal still haunt me from last year.
Yeah, you keep away.
I was away, though, to be fair. It was that
Everton when you got a 2-2 against Brentford. Hang on, that sounds familiar.
I thought what was haunting you was that, about 90 minutes you had to be sat next to Ant for that Brentford game. I thought that was painful in itself.
Yeah, that's painful. But all right, let's get on. We've got loads of super chats to get through quickly. So, Will, feeling really happy. Gave my ticket up today as poorly. I really hope you're feeling better, bro. So, here's a few quid for the pot. So, thank you, Wolverine, and the guys for helping me.
We appreciate you, bro.
Nikki, and had a fantastic day. You made Nikki's day, bro. You're an absolute legend. And then we've got bloody hell, man. You guys been stocking this up for the win. Thank you so much for the $4.99 and the hat, man, with the new picture. Enjoying the party. It is party mode.
And without the hat.
And Brandon, I love Brandon. What a supporter of the channel he is. Come on, you Reds. Would it be wild to say a huge boost for the West Ham game and for Ez's laptop? On that, guys, I'll give you a little. It's not confirmed yet. It's not confirmed, but there will be a fatal four-way. Me and versus Jace and Lawless in the build-up to Forest West Ham. It's going to be box office.
It is popcorn at the ready.
It's not the stream for you.
I ordered a kilo of popcorn.
But I am telling you now, we're talking to their guys. Their guys are talking to our guys. It looks like it's happening. We're just finding a venue and all that stuff, and it will be coming up. And Black Adeem Adeli with the 5 gifted memberships. You absolute legend. If you got one of those, show some love. And TC as well with a gifted membership. Thank you all so much for the love and support. Let's get back into the talk because, all right, I'm seeing that you warmed up. Yeah, he's been saying to me that he wants to say something about Emri. I have no idea what it is, but Ant, let's go into. Let's put you up here. I don't know what it is, so good luck, guys.
No, it's not that big a deal. I don't need to be full screen. All I'm saying is that I've been sick and tired for the past year and a half or whatever of being told what a tactical genius and a brilliant manager Dick Emri is. I know that he's done brilliantly for no. I know he's done brilliantly for Villa, but I've said all along the guy is a brilliant cup manager, but in the league he'll never do it. And that's proven throughout his career, right? He's done brilliantly in cups, not so good in the league. And I know the reason why. If you look at Villa's home record this season, it's 6-6. If you look at their away record, it's 2-6. And I can tell you the reason, because he hasn't got the tactical nous to change his system. So what he does is, I watched him play at home last week, and I thought to myself, bloody hell, they're wide open at the back. They're parked on the halfway line, one ball over the top, and they're dead. As Newcastle did when they hit 6 past them, I think it was. And others have hit big numbers against them. When they lose, they normally lose by big numbers. And the reason is because at home, it's fine. The away side comes to defend, so they can push all their men up to the halfway line. But when they play away, and the home side's a little bit more progressive, he plays exactly the same. And I'm telling you now, we should have had 6 today. If it wasn't for our players not having the intelligence to remain onside, I mean, they're offside by half a yard, but we were through time. And this is a club supposedly going for top 5 time and time again. And at half time, I said, Emri has got to change his tactics. Otherwise, they ain't going to win this. And he didn't. They came out and did exactly the same. And with a bit more control of our forward play, we would have had 6 today. So that's my view on Dick Emri.
Mic drop. Right, but did you say that? I think he said that with his Guna hat on, though. He's still like trying to convince everyone why they were right to sack him. I think that's what it sounded like. It didn't sound like it had anything to do with Forest.
I'm a bit worried, Wolverine, because
it wasn't anything to do with Forest. It was to do with Aston Villa.
I've been agreeing with Ant a lot recently, and I'm wondering whether I'm coming down with something. Actually, you are right. You know, when he they were just getting caught so many times with the ball behind today. It was ridiculous. And it didn't stop. And that's something I'd blame Cooper for normally, but Cooper outsmarted him today. So 100%. I have to agree with you there, Anne. It seems to be
offside 9 times. 9 times we were caught offside. And I actually said, to my brother that sat next to me. I said, "That players ought to just stay in their own half, then they can't be offside because they've got so much pace. They've got so much pace, and their defenders would have to turn and run, whereas they're facing the right way. They'd outstrip them every time."
Problem with that, and problem with that, that linesman would have flagged our players offside in our own half.
Yeah, even if they were in their own half. Yeah.
But you know what we laughed at? About 2 minutes later, the guy behind said, "We ought to stay in our own half. We don't need to get offside."
Yeah, we didn't.
You know, everybody could see it, is what I'm saying, but except for Emri.
Chris going to gold membership 8 months. Thank you, bro. Clean sheet today reminds me of Brighton. It does a little bit.
Clean sheet was nice, wasn't it? Clean sheet was a real cream on the top. That was definitely.
Except it meant I lost 2 points on my predictor league, but it was very nice.
That doesn't matter. Well, no, clean sheet's really good. Like it.
And Marky Boy, 40. Has the channel even been going 14 months, bro? Did you pre-subscribe?
You haven't even been a fan that long, have you? So I don't know how that's happened.
Exactly. I've only been Forest fan for 11 months, but sat next to Ant for Brighton could get messy.
I think I've got an apologies thing today. I've got to apologise to Si as well if he's in the chat, because he said I was arguing with him that City Ground wasn't a fortress, but it seems it is.
I was going to ask you that very question.
You know,
it seems it is. It seems that I'm wrong.
It wasn't a fortress.
If you want to donate, thank you so much. You don't need to, but we appreciate any pennies that come to help with production. If you hit exclamation mark donate in the chat, that'll give you the link, or you can press the dollar sign in the chat as well, bro. But thank you so much.
Anything from tonight's donations, thank you guys and girls. Anything from tonight's donations is going towards a brown envelope for the next match for the referee to be on our side for a change. So you need to get enough in to get the linesman in as well.
It didn't do them any favours, did it? That's money down the drain for them. It didn't help them, did it?
True.
Yeah.
All right, we talk about the actual match now. Because I really want to talk about this first goal. Go on, what you guys say?
Well, no, I wanted to touch. I mean, it was kind of going on with the lineup, because also one major thing that happened today, and I think it was kind of after my little pep talk, but MG Dub was given the captain's armband, and I felt it was the most disciplined performance I've seen from him, because he was asked to play a position that I said on our last stream that if he's going to have to be a square peg in a round hole, then he needs to up his game and he needs to make himself undroppable. That performance out on the right today, yes, he wasn't able to be as creative as he was, but from a discipline point of view, from what he did for the team, from a captain's point of view, I thought that was one of his best performances. I genuinely do. I think he really did step up today. So I've got to give my boy MG Dub props for that. You know, even if he didn't get us a goal, he did a lot of good things today.
That ball across the pitch was brilliant, wasn't it? Perfect. The first half, can you remember?
Should that be exclamation mark?
Yeah, I've just put it in the chat, so the link's there if you want. I'll pin it as well. I get what you're saying, Ez. The only thing is, I hate to be a downer, but let me bring it up first. That's 12 months from March. So much, bro. I still don't think he's as deadly out on the wing as he would be in the middle. That's the only thing for me. I thought it was a good performance for him. I felt he did drift a little bit in the match. I don't think he played bad, but I don't think he was the center of attention. That might be a good thing in a way.
And that's what I mean. He was taken out of the limelight a little bit, but he had to be disciplined in that position, because he had to back Einar up when he was playing down the right hand side. And he did. I felt for the majority of the game, we nullified them, because if real threat, and Ant was mentioned it to me at the time, Digne, he's a great crossover ball. He had so much time and space to get, but every time Einar, more often than not, blocked his crosses. MG Dub was backing him up. I thought it was a really disciplined. It wasn't a star performance. It wasn't one for him to be in the limelight, and that's what he needed to show, I think, today, that it's not all about him. It's about the team, and he did what he needed for the team. And as a captain, that was the captain's performance today. I've got to honestly say that from him today. Yeah,
I agree. Can I just bring this comment back up? So this chat from the James. I don't know, because I can't. Do you see Ore getting back in? Do you see Worrell getting back in? No. Do you see Yates starting with that midfield? No. So maybe we'll keep the captaincy for a little bit.
Possible.
I don't actually mind him having. Sorry.
No, go on, man. Go on.
No, I was just going to say, I don't mind him being made captain, because it might just give him that little bit of extra responsibility that calms him down a bit and makes him think a bit more. You know what I mean? Rather than running around like a blue-ass fly achieving nothing. Yeah. Personally, today, I thought he was okay. I thought it was one of his better games. He did one or two really nice bits and bobs. But unlike Ez, I don't think he did cover well enough. I didn't think it. And I kept seeing Dina all on his own all the time, just him and Aina isolated. On the other side, we always had 2 men on the winger. Cash, I think it was. Probably, yeah. There was always 2 men on Cash. But every time it went to Dina, it was on his own, and Aina had to go out on his own.
Yeah, but I felt Cash was getting more...
did track back that well.
No, but I
felt
felt
Cash was in front of Cash, wasn't he?
Well, yeah, well, no, Cash had Diaby with him, you know, so often they were doubling up on that side, but Dina was always on his own. He never had any support from any of the other attackers, so it was one-on-one more often than not, but he was covering those spaces, mate. If it was 2 men running, he would have been there, but I thought he was disciplined today. I thought he did what they needed him to do without being, you know, the star man today, so that takes a lot.
It's ideal to leave whether it's a winger or a fullback bombing forward. I don't think it's a good idea to leave them one-on-one ever.
I think we played into it. I think they played into our game plan.
Aina did brilliantly, by the way.
It was the only time they had any space was out on the wings. And like I say, predominantly down their left-hand side with Dina getting across in. Cash had got nothing out of Toffolo. Toffolo was fantastic. You know,
it was good. Can I mention another player? Did you notice Mangala in the first half dropped into the 6th position?
Yeah.
So it was like a 4-1, 4-1, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was better than that. He was going between the centre backs. He was going between the centre backs, collecting the ball. Fantastic. Yeah.
He played very well.
I thought Mangala was brilliant today, and the goal just topped it off. I thought he was brilliant.
Can I just say,
most of the season, to be fair.
One second. There's a few comments in the chat about Worrell. I get it's a divisive topic. I don't want to go into Worrell today. What I will say is, look, Worrell's been dropped. Yeah, we don't need to badmouth him, right? We get it.
No,
we
he's
get
a prize
it.
player at the end of the day, and he loves the club. He's not doing it on purpose.
Exactly. He's been dropped, correctly so. Yeah, but let's take it easy on the poor guy, man. He wasn't even in the squad today. The topic doesn't need to be about Worrell today. I get it, but let's show him some respect as well. I'm saying it with love, guys. That's all I'm saying it with.
Just going back to the Worrell goal, by the way. I may as well come clean, because I could see little hints of it in the chat. Yeah, I did miss it because after he shot
Worrell
goal. You mean the Mangala goal?
That's the Worrell.
We'll come on to that. You're jumping. Yeah, the other thing I want to talk about is Taiwo. Surprisingly, quite a lot of people scored him low on the player ratings. I thought he was brilliant. I know he got offside a few times, but we are a different team, in my opinion, with Taiwo leading that front line and bullying those centre backs. He doesn't necessarily always have to be involved. But I thought, he was offside a couple of times. A couple of times he wasn't offside when flagged. But how was he from a pitch perspective for you boys at the ground? Were you seeing the same thing, or would you agree with the chat he was a little off today?
Go on.
Yeah, right, mate. It's so effective. The difference with it, like you put it in a nutshell, really, Wolfie. It doesn't need to touch the ball necessarily. He doesn't need to be involved in the play necessarily, but trust me, when he's on there, he's occupying defenders and causing them problems. The difference when he's in the team, we look so much more potent, so much more dangerous. I mean, I'm not a fan of Chris Wood, but I'm prepared to give him his chance, But there's no comparison. He's vital to us, and he makes us look a better team going forward every time, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think I'd echo that. Sorry, I was just going to say I'd echo that. That was the term I'd use. He occupies their back line. He's not always got the ball. I think why he was low scored was the frustration probably from some of the fans that he was getting caught offside. There was a couple of occasions, like I said, there was a couple of occasions where I don't think he was offside, and he was wrongly flagged. But I think that was probably the frustration that probably got his score down a little bit more. He kept them busy, and when he keeps them busy, it frees up other players to be able to do more on the ball, and the overlaps that we had from both our fullbacks were caused by Taiwo doing what he does in the middle, So, I felt he played really well, and I think any low scores were purely down to him being caught offside so often. It was frustrating. It was really frustrating.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Dino, I want to, before we go, because we got to talk at length about Einar and Tuffler in a second, but just to finish the rest of the team on Elanga, I'm not sounding harsh, but he was still good. But I've thought out of all the players, he may have been the weakest. And the reason I'm coming to you, Dino, is something you said the other week about him having tunnel vision. I've seen that a bit, especially that move where I think Tuffler came around his outside, going behind, and he just didn't see him.
Yeah.
Ended up losing the ball into the middle. But are you still seeing signs of development from him? How do you kind of summarize his game today?
Yeah, 100%. Because when he was at Man United, he was getting bit part times. He never really had a great run in the side, did he? And now he's getting a great run in the side. I think he'll improve. You know, we've seen players improve last season, all the new players that come in. You know, Lodi was a great example. He looked shaky at the start and then he become a great player. And I think it's the same with Elanga. I'm quite excited about him. If he's coaching again, isn't it? It's just getting him to get his head up and I think what they've done with MGW recently is fantastic. They've told him to stop pissing around, you know, look up, take your time. Like I said the other week and probably the week before, he seems rushed all the time. MGW, he didn't now. And I think Elanga just needs to think, well, I think if he can improve his dribbling, he'll be red hot, man. He'll be red hot.
For me, it's more
shooting, obviously, but
for me, it's more his decision making. But he's a diamond in the rough, you know. He will come good. So just before that incident where he didn't pass it to Toffolo, he did try to pass it to Toffolo about a minute or two earlier, and it got cut out. So both Nathan and I were stood there watching. So you got to make your decision earlier because he's getting to the edge of a box and he still doesn't know what he wants to do. The best players in the world, we've always said they're like 2 or 3 moves ahead. It seems sometimes with Elanga, he's like a move or 2 behind. He's getting there and then he's thinking about what he should do. So it's about decision making, and he will get better with the more games he gets, the more confidence that's shown in him. But he's got so much potential, you know. And going on, I want to touch on another player that I think is our signing of the season without a doubt. You've already mentioned him because the Villa fans have never heard of him, but Einar, absolutely fantastic. And Murillo, I don't know what that guy's ceiling is, and that's what excites me so much because I think he is, the way he's settled in a new country, in a new league, being given that responsibility. I'm really, I'm like excited to see what we can get from him. But I think those 3 are ones that it's going to take a little bit more time, but we're seeing some real positive improvements game in, game out. And I agree with Dino, the more games Elanga gets, the better he will get. His decision making will become better. He'll understand players' runs. Going slightly off topic, there's a clip where Henri's talking about the advice he was given from Wenger, and you talk about head down. That's the kind of player Lundberg was. Lundberg used to have his head down and just run. And he apparently Henri went and complained to Wenger. He never passes me the ball. And Wenger says, "Can he actually see you?" And he made him think. He made him think about the runs that he has to make because of the type of player Lundberg was. Elanga's that type of player. He's down with his head. He's playing with his head down. So maybe you have to adapt your runs, and that will happen through time. You know, he'll get used to the players around him. The players will get used to him, but his confidence will grow. The more confidence Cooper and, you know, Foresters in general show in him. So there's a lot to come from him.
Absolutely.
I'm excited about this. Sorry, I'm excited about this whole squad actually. As long as, and this is a caveat, we don't go back to being scared of teams and playing 5 back when we shouldn't be playing 5 back. Yeah. I think we may as well go through the season now with vast majority of the games being this 4-3-3. No narrow stuff, just the same as we've done today. Because every time we've played that formation, we have looked good. Every time we've not played that formation, we have looked weak.
Yeah.
And I think we've got the players, we've got the backup players in 2/3 of the positions. I just think we need to just kick on now. We've got, I mean, West Ham are beatable, man. You know, I know we'll cover that towards the end. Brighton, we've already beat him last year and took a point off them away. You know, these are all beatable. We could be, oh my God, we could. I get vertigo, you know, we're too far up. You know that. What are we going to do?
Also,
one second.
Go on, sorry, no, carry on with that.
Big shout out to 1865 for the £2. Was Einar's goal the best since Man City last season? I think it was better. We're literally about to come onto that. Quick shout out to Paul with the 14 months. You absolute legend, Paul. Thank you so much. And some more Einar loving coming from Brandon as well. £2. Einar is a Forest legend in the making. Outstanding. Sorry, as I interrupted you. But before I let you carry back on, nearly 450 of you in here, 163 likes. Come on, guys. Hey, come on, 2-0. It's Happy Old Reds tonight. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Make sure you're subscribed. And back over to you, Ez.
I think I forgot my point, bro.
I knew you would.
We'll move on. We'll move on. Because I want to talk about Tuffalo.
We're all getting old.
Tuffalo, this time nearly 12 months, well, just under 12 months ago, was being shipped out to Anderlecht on a perm. And then lastminute.com, we screwed them, which was fantastic. And he's come back and he's seen Einar recruited. There was Omar Richards still there at the time. You see Tavares coming in, who plays left back as well. Williams getting in ahead of him in a few games at left back. Just to name just a few. Obviously, there was Lodi there last season. And I just think we need a word on his professionalism. He's never really kicked his toys out the pram. I know there was the whole thing about he didn't want to sign to Forest and tried to hold us to ransom for money and what have you. But let's go to you, Ant, on it. What are your thoughts on kind of Tuffalo and how he's developed since his time really at Forest?
Well, first of all, I mean, I've always liked Tuffalo. He's always been a good player. He was good when he was at Huddersfield. That's why we bought him.
Yeah.
But I just want to point out this, for no particular reason, this comment from Mike D. Garns. Says, Tuffalo was fantastic today. Had cash in his pocket and 2 great assists. As soon as I read that, I thought he's alluding to betting somehow. He had cash in his pocket.
Cash in his pocket.
That's just what went into my head when I saw it. But yeah, and I'm really pleased for him as well, because that Anderlecht thing must have been awful for him. To come back to a club where you know you're not really wanted and everything, it can't be easy. And he's obviously worked hard. And he's always been a good defender. Come on, you know, he's not rubbish. And I'd have no problems at all keeping him where he is in the side. I can't give him any better praise than that. You know, a good luck to him, because he's been good in a lot of games. You know what I mean? It's very rare people say, "Oh, Tuffalo was bad today, wasn't he?" In fact, I can't remember, to be honest.
He's always minimum 6'7", isn't he?
Everybody's always surprised every single time. Tuffalo was good today, wasn't he? Yeah.
But also, every time he's had a spell out of a team, he's come back really well. It hasn't looked like he's been away, you know. So every time he has come back in, he's come back better, I believe. I think he was certainly one of his best games today. He was very instrumental in the goals that we scored. He just looked solid, and I hope it's not an injury that's anything serious, because I liked when Williams came on, and I liked, you know, the fact that Einar can play both sides. But Tuffalo, when he gets forward, and he does have a good cross on him, we start getting used to when he's going to deliver that ball and getting our bodies into the box. You know, we'll be able to really take advantage of that. But yeah, no, I hope it's not injury was nothing serious. But I've got to say, the main thing I've liked about Tuffalo that is, if he has been left out for a spell, he's come back in, and he's always come back in even better. So yeah, it's props to him. I've got to say, big props to him.
I agree.
And then just finally, Dino, before we get into Einar and his goal, Sangare, improved performance today, or steady, or were you not too impressed with him?
No, definitely improved today. Still not where he can play, but I think he was probably a little bit overshadowed by everybody playing bloody well today. I mean, we've not mentioned Minguez yet. You know, he had some great runs into the box. You know, he's really forward-thinking player. But yeah, I thought Sangare had some nice touches, but it was hard to pick up. It's hard for anybody to stand out today because everybody was that good. It's unusual you'd say that, but everybody played well. Not one poor performance on the pitch.
Fully agree.
I think there were 3 that were exceptionally good today. But what I liked about Sangare today was it was the first time that I've seen him in a Forest shirt actually go and get the ball. Yeah. And we've seen it in so many clips, like where he's not one that will just break it up and progress it. He'll actually go hunting and get the ball. And I saw him do that a couple of times today, successfully as well. Just once you get the timing right and they push up with him, because in his very first game, he controlled that first half hour or so. He really controlled that midfield. They moved up with him, they moved back with him. I think the dynamics changed slightly. I think Dino's mentioned it. Mangala was still the deepest of the 3, but he links a play up better and it's kind of working. Even though I called for Sangare to play as a number 6 in that holding position, for today was the first time I've seen him actually go and get the ball. But the 3 players that really stood out for me were Einar, obviously, Niakate and Toffolo. Them 3 were I think,
I noticed today,
everybody else.
Well, I noticed today we were taking the ball off them like candy off a baby half the time. We're just out tackling them, out muscling them, out tackling them, 2-on-1 in, one going in, the other one nicking it off. Brilliant to see.
That's such a good point.
Seriously, if we can keep that up over the way, we're going to have a great season.
Yeah, I felt it was more so in the first half. Yeah, I thought the first half we were outstanding. Second half we sat back a little, but they didn't look like they were going to
a lot. Second half, we still out tackled them, even though it was deeper.
All right, let's do these couple of super chats, and then we're gonna get into the Einar GOR. I'm looking forward to this. Crypto at a 2-bound. Thank you so much, bro. Great win today. Well done to the whole team and the coaches. It was a full team effort, absolutely. And jolly old Ollie, not old, he's lovely. £5, Ollie. Jolly Ollie.
He's old.
He is old.
I never said that. You can say that. You can say that. I can't.
Where's that photograph you got of me anyway, Jolly? Where is it? You said you'd send it me.
My missus is just speaking to Bean. She's a true Villa fan. Have I read that right?
Yeah. It's Jolly.
Yeah, you read it right. You just didn't type it out right.
It's Jolly.
We love you, Jolly. We do love you, bro.
Okay. Sounds like the Amber Heard thingy, doesn't it? The Amber Heard court case. Did I read that right? Let's say that right.
450 of you in, 18 likes away from 200. Please hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Remember, if you've got secondary YouTube accounts, make sure they're subscribed as well, as we are this close to 15k. Thank you all so much. All right, who wants to talk first about the Einar GOR? I kind of want to go to you about it, Dean, because I think it was one of the best worked goals we've had this season in terms of the build-up play and the style and the breaking in on the second line. And then and I will ask you Darren's question after that. But go on, Dino, talk us through your thoughts on that first goal.
I mean, it's just beautiful play. I mean, it was like inside left, wasn't it? It came from. And Dominguez carried it first, didn't he? And then
Alanga.
And then Toff got a beautiful. It was so perfect, the ball to Einar, and what a strike! Did you notice that he didn't put his foot through it? Did you notice he side-footed it? Did you see that in the ground? He actually side-footed it.
Yeah.
I mean, he hits it with some power. It was such a great goal. Even though the ref was like, "Hang on, is one of the players offside?" I'm like, "No."
Exactly.
I'll tell you what, the ground would have gone mad if that would have. But what a beautiful strike! What a beautiful strike! The move was beautiful.
Yeah, it was the pace on the cross as well, because he didn't have to put a lot of power into it because of the pace on the cross. And it wasn't bobbling, was it? It was just but he directed it so well, and it's something that maybe my boy Dominguez could learn from, because he had a great opportunity to do something similar, and he's absolutely
he put his foot through it though, didn't he? Skied it,
And that's what I said at the time. Dominguez can pass the ball 20 yards to perfection. Why can't these players? And we know it's composure or lack of. Why can't you just pass it into the corner of the net as if you passed it to a player?
Well, actually, he did try and pass that. I was wrong, but that was bobbling a bit, and he should have put his foot through that one. It was a bit faster, and it was bobbling.
What? Dominguez,
yeah, he tried
I got the impression he belted that.
He side-footed it over the bar because you could see it. Because you could see on the replay, it was one of those that he needed to do the opposite. He needed to put his foot through it like that.
He should have, knee over the ball, as the good coach will tell you, and keep the ball down, isn't it? But a bit of panic. But he could probably get some practice from.
That's quite funny, because me and my brother were saying, what he should have done is he should have, because we thought he blasted it over. He should have just owned his foot, knee over the ball.
Exactly.
Guys here, 2 fatty old guys here. What he should have done is,
I'd have scored that.
You teach, don't you? We all know that.
Yeah, but is the build-up I was more impressed with. Look, I thought Alanga ran himself into a bit of cul-de-sac, but at least he turned around and he saw when he got stuck. He turned around, found Toffolo. But for me, it's the weight of the pass. The weight of the pass from Toffolo. It was perfect. It's one of those ones where the player doesn't need to take a touch, and that's what made it so good, that he could literally walk onto it. And the fact that our right back can flush it in like that, have the composure to side foot it and not just swing a boot at it. Honestly, this Einar kid is
some
ridiculous.
of the forwards need to learn from that, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Because if they did, we'd be.
Yeah, go on, man.
People might think I'm exaggerating. For me, that's a world-class goal. To have that much control over the ball from that distance, you know, as Dino's just said, some of our forwards could learn that. Absolutely, mate. That was beautiful, beautifully hit ball. And it's quite funny being down there. We were kind of in line with that from about where he hit it from. And it was funny because obviously normally when you're crossing the ball, you try and whip it in or whatever. And the ball goes across the middle of the field. You're thinking, what's it? Fucking hell. Where did Einar come from?
It went through a crowd.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Where did he come from? He just all of a sudden, one day, all of a sudden he just appeared and the ball was fantastic.
I think Rob said it in the chat earlier. He was like, it looked like a bad layoff because there was no one there.
Yeah,
and he literally came off screen. And it's like,
yeah, it did. That's why it was no different down the ground, to be fair. He looked like a bad layoff. Well, you know, like he pulled it back too far.
Yeah,
all of a sudden, it just appeared.
It was such a good, it was such a good finish. Martinez didn't have a chance with it, mate. And considering from how far out he was, he wasn't even close.
If you stuck an opinion, 100 Premier League players, how many would be able to finish like that? It's very rare to see. Very rare to see. I watched Liverpool today. They were shooting all over the bloody place. You know what I mean? It's like
Nunes, that miss. I know he was offside, but seriously, it was ridiculous.
Oh, it was offside, wasn't it? Yeah.
I mean, Nunes missed from a yard today.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. You know what I mean? Quick shout out to Keith, new member. Thank you so much, bro. Welcome to La Family. I can't say.
Welcome to the dark side.
Yeah. And Sharky, another 2 quid. If we finish top 8, will Dino shave his hair?
Same I do.
I don't know, Sharky. That would need at least 10 quid, I think. Yeah.
I'll do better than that. I'll wear a red wig for if we go top 8. Every single stream we do, where we are above 8 or above, I'll wear a red wig for it.
Yeah,
there
absolutely.
You go about that.
I think you should dye your eyebrows.
We'll turn his camera off.
Not dye my eyebrows, man.
Yeah, bright red eyebrows we want.
No,
can I just say as well one more thing about Einar? This guy's 25. Where the hell's he been all his life?
Where's he been? Yeah, where's he been?
Where's he been? And why is nobody else
Chelsea? Yeah.
I mean, he was a free transfer. Best.
Yeah.
Somebody put there
buried in Chelsea's billion players
for another player. Toffolo, one of the best signings. No, for me, Einar, I can't say I can get a better signing than that right now. Free transfer, and look what he's doing in every game he's played. He's been brilliant.
Yeah. Well, this is the point I was going to make. So pretty much of all the games that he started for Forest, he's pretty much been man of the match almost every single game, hasn't he?
Yeah.
That says
he
a lot.
wants to stay as well. And because you put Martinez in there,
right back, stick him where you like.
Yeah,
you know, it's quality.
Up front.
Where's he been?
I mean,
right wing.
How much is he worth? How much is he worth? Is the question.
How much is he worth?
Let's say 100 million, so nobody's interested.
Other teams.
To us, how much would you say he's worth?
Well, not a lot because he's only got a year contract, hasn't he? So unless, but if he had a 4-year contract, then he'd be obviously worth more. But let's say he had a 4-year contract with us at 26. I don't know.
But he needs to sort his contract out, definitely.
20 mil, 25.
I was going 30. The way he's playing, I was going 30.
I would say 40. He's 2 players in one. He's 2 players in one at least. You know, he's got a fullback for each side. He could also probably play on the wings as well.
And stop talking over him. I can't understand what Ezra's saying. Goodness.
So I say he can play both sides. He can play on the wings as well. You got 3 players in one there. You know, 45 million.
What are the chat saying here? Crypto saying 35. Harvey's very specific, 23.
That's between my 20 and 25.
25 to 30. 15 mil, bro. Come on, man. He's worth more than that. I like where Brandon's going. 2 mil. 30 to 40.
I agree with you, Brandon.
30 to 40. Sangare was 37, says Craig. Can we all agree, though, that I was right to put Einar in this?
Well, Dino's enjoying it.
ESS Club. ESS Club.
I've only just forgot that song. Thanks for that.
You called it Ed's Club earlier. I was like, no, they can't move that brush, mate.
All right.
What does it mean anyway? What does S Club mean? You say he's in the S Club. What does that mean?
It's
It's
a
like
band, that's Club
S-tier, isn't it?
7.
It's
S-class,
top tier.
isn't it?
Club.
I know what Club
Yeah.
7 is, but what does S mean?
Yeah, what's S-class in Mercedes? It's a top, isn't it?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes,
I don't know, I've not got a Mercedes S. We're not all like you know.
Oh yeah, with my Toyota Yaris.
Anyway, I want to talk about the second goal. I want to do it a little seriously because everything was so fitting for it. 47th minute, Johnson, 47. Well, had the crowd started clapping before the goal had gone in?
No. As soon as the goal went in, we started. Timing was
we were
perfect.
cheering, weren't we, when the goal went in?
Because both me and Ant, well, I kind of saw it, but Ant didn't see it. Like, because as soon as his first save was made, he turned away, and I kind of did as well. But I looked back and I was like, "Hey, that's fucking rolling in." Why we started cheering again? But yeah, literally as soon as the ball hit the back of the net or it was announced as a goal, that's when the clapping started. The timing was absolutely perfect.
And you didn't see it go
except they had the
VAR.
Yeah, they had the picture, the commemorative thing up for Adam on the screen, and then fucking VAR comes and blanks it all out.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
thought that was a bit out of.
Yeah,
You know what? I'm quite a fan of VAR, but I'm losing it quite quickly. Sometimes today I'd have thought just make the decision, ref, and just go with it. Even if it's because it's VAR, it's stupid, isn't it? It's really getting on my nerves now.
There was one
Whereas
today.
I was a big fan of it before.
I think it was after the first goal, Dino. There was one today where, or it might have been, I don't know, it was something anyway. And the game stopped and the referee was doing this and everybody stopped. And I said to my brother again, I said, we paid 52 quid to sit in these seats and we haven't got a clue what is happening. And yet all them sitting at home are getting all the information. Yes, it's for this offence. It's for this offence. We had nothing. What's that? What's he waiting for? What's holding?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's not very good, is it?
No, I don't know why we can't just do a stadium announcement saying, you know, we're VAR, we're checking for this. Like the because the commentators on the live games, they get to hear what's going on in the VAR studio, so they can relay it to the audience, as Ant's just mentioned there. It does take a lot away from the experience of being there. One good thing was, though, we were so far back in when it did start raining, we were fully covered. So that was a benefit of being so high up today. But yeah, it is disappointing because, like you say, you pay a lot of money, you know, and it's like the fans in the stadium are the last ones they think about. It's all about the TV audience. It's all about the worldwide audience. And admittedly, obviously, it's a lot more people, but at the same time, the fans in the stadium need a bit more respect. And
it's because they treat fans like idiots. That's the problem with it. They think they'll be riots
in some cases.
But they think they'll riot if the decision is there and it gets all irky and what have you. It's stupid.
Yeah, but just some information like VAR checking for offside. There's nothing. There's nothing. Sometimes there was. Sorry, sometimes there was. Sometimes there wasn't. There should always be information, so you know why the game stopped.
I get what everyone in the chat is saying about VAR. The only thing I would say is two things. I do agree with that. They're overusing it. They're trying to get rid of goals more so than allow them. But I would say VAR's not the problem. It's the people using VAR. They're just useless, man. They're 100%. Useless.
Also, they're in a really difficult situation when you think about it because I'm going to mention Arsenal, right? But take the Newcastle game against Arsenal. I mean, that should have been disallowed anyway. I could see a ball was out before it even fucking stopped. But nevertheless, they have to check for the ball is out. They have to check for offside. They have to check for whether it is a foul. So it's not just, you know, quick and one thing. They're checking everything. And the problem is that they check for a goal if it's offside. And then they're looking for fouls. They're looking for this. They're looking for that. Don't look. Is it offside? No, great goal. The referee's not blown for a foul. Don't keep looking.
The problem is,
I was going to say, Robbie Lyle, if you're watching, drop me a WhatsApp if you want to transfer on Forest Ant to Arsenal. It's done, bro.
The problem is there've been a couple of high-profile errors, and now they're trying to check for every single thing in case they miss something out. So I think they're being overly cautious now, but it's really having a detrimental effect on actually watching the game, and it's going to get frustrating.
Yeah, they got 2 out of 3 wrong with Arsenal, I thought. Huh?
Again,
even the second goal, did you see the VAR check they did for it? It was embarrassing. It was
Yeah.
embarrassing. They
What
tried. I
were
don't
they
know if you
checking?
guys saw it in the ground. They tried
They were
to see
checking
if
that
Taiwo was offside.
Taiwo was offside. Well, it was in the line of sight, and he wasn't.
He wasn't.
He was behind the ball. It's
Yeah.
just pathetic. It's pathetic. But let's, Dino, let's talk about the goal, because when I saw that was Mangala hitting it, I was like, nah. And it was
Yeah,
like,
he scored one like that last season. No, not that
It was a
good,
crisp
but it was
strike.
pretty good last season. He's got a good strike on him when he wants.
how much was that Mangala and how much was that the bell end door that was
I
Martinez?
mean, it was a good save initially, but he obviously didn't parry it out. What impressed me is when he parried it, did you see who the first 3 players to the ball was rushing in? Forest. They were all static. 3 players rushing in to finish it off. But they didn't need to.
I don't know,
he
because I turned
put a
away.
bit of backspin on it, didn't he? Like that.
It was like a screw shot in snooker, wasn't
It was
it?
funny,
It was
wasn't it?
fantastic.
You could see how he missed it, can't you? Because he'd saved it. It was going over the bar, or wide of the goal. It saved it. So I
It was a
turned around.
cracking strike.
I sat down, and all of a sudden everybody's going mad. I went, what's going off? What's going on?
And we didn't see the replay until the end of the game. Then he only showed it once, but it was a cracking strike. I wish he'd have more faith in himself, because he does get himself in some good positions. But the crowd G'd him on. The crowd said, shoot, he shot. And it was a cracking strike. And initially it was a very good save. But
he must have been. Do you think he must have rubbed Emre's head or something?
Yeah.
That's probably what did his chip banners.
Yeah, but it was the thing for me was the fact that what was he doing up there? It was like I was watching it and I was like, I thought like, and I hate to admit it, I thought he'd saved it and it like ballooned over the bar or something. And then I looked on the screen and then it had goal Mangala and I was like, what the fuck? Double check back. It is, what cracks me up the most was that he tried to like style it out like he'd hooked it off the goal line. It was like this far over the goal line. Man.
He's not a great keeper for me. I don't rate him.
Yeah,
really don't rate him.
Why?
He's just, I don't know. I know he's a World Cup winner and he's a bit of a. He's always doing the penis thing and he with trophies and stuff like that. A bit of a joker, but he's just not great for me. It's not great.
No.
He was, of course, the second best goalkeeper at Arsenal.
Like Messi was the best player. Yeah, let's move on.
No.
I mean,
I'm saying
what Dino's saying is Martinez is no Vlachodimos. That's what he's saying.
Absolutely, he's no Matt Turner, right? He's no Matt Turner. All right, so overall, are we all happy with the result? Are we all still ecstatic? I'm still buzzing, boys. I really am.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a result. Go on.
So great having so many teams below us, even if it's just for a week. But I do think we can take points now. And I'm not predicting anything because when I do, it goes wrong. So no predictions from me.
Well, that was a point that I forgot, actually. So that's where I'm going to trail back to. Going back to predictions that we made for these 4 games, me and Ant are the only ones who are still on target to get. Because we said 5 points, didn't we, from these 4?
You didn't.
Yes, we did. Yes, I definitely did. Definitely did. We had it in a different format.
I believe him.
Yeah, I had us to beat Luton and then draws against Villa and West Ham, but we got it in a different way. Big man up here said 12 points. You said 3. So me and Anna are the only ones that are still on target.
I was talking specifically from this game. Yeah, I was talking specifically from this game.
There is an important point amongst all this, and it's will this give us the confidence to move forward against West Ham, and I think it will. I think West Ham are there for the taking with this. If we play the same formation, I think we're there for the taking.
Emma,
I nearly deleted 2 apps today. I was telling the boys. One was the Super Brew and the other one was FPL. I've had a terrible week.
Yeah, with all due respect, Emma, shut up.
I'm going to see what Emma's got. Let's have a look.
Obviously, she's doing better than us.
Is this like this cyberbullying I've heard about? Is this what it is, Emma?
Yeah, she's doing that. She's doing that to us, yeah.
Oh,
I want to have a quick chat.
Sorry, quick shout out to Jojo as well, who we saw outside the stadium, which he was collecting for the Poppy appeal. So shout out to you, Jojo. Keep in touch, and we'll try and get you to a game soon. I didn't realize you'd not been to a game all season. So yeah, keep in touch.
I've already DM'd her. Don't worry, mate. It's all right.
I'm not surprised.
All right, quick shout out to David. David, thank you so much for becoming a member, bro. Looking good with the Bertles right there. And then Crypto with the £2. Thank you so much, bro. Dino Schmeichel not happy with Martinez.
Can I just have a look at Berto's shirt again in that last picture? Please? Fuck me, man. I don't know how he gets away with it.
Emily, you've got 26 points like me. There you go, on FPL.
Yeah. All right.
Anyway.
I want to talk about Steve Cooper because I think we need to do a little section here on. Yeah, I've seen that. Thanks, man. Okay. I think we need to do a section on how good he got it right. Look, when Cooper gets it wrong, we call it out, but when he gets it right, we call it out as well. So, who should we kick off with? Who wants to kick it off? What were your thoughts on Cooper today? Who wants it?
Go on, I'll go with it.
Oh, go on.
Did you volunteer? No, if you volunteered, you go.
I volunteered. No, because I call him out a lot, and I always say, and we always say on the channel, when it's good, we do say it's good. We're not just everybody thinks we just Cooper out all the time. He got it right today, and I've got to say, if he continues in that vein in terms of sending the team out like that with that formation and that attitude and that level of confidence that he must have instilled in him, then I'm all for Cooper. It's just I don't want him to revert back to what we've had in the past, where he has made blundering mistakes. But he got it 100% right today, in full respect. Today, I wouldn't pick another manager over him in the world today.
Let's see what tomorrow brings.
Yeah, but as they say, and don't make they're going to take it as rude anyway. One swallow doesn't make a summer. So, Rob, for you,
sorry, you're talking about something else. Sorry,
one ray of sunshine doesn't make a summer. How about that? So, Rob, when you called that out earlier about, it wasn't we're going to apologise to Steve Cooper. I think it was about Toffolo giving Cooper credit. Cooper did very well today, and long may it continue.
He looked so composed, didn't he? He looked different. Yeah,
but I mean, I'm definitely. I don't want it to turn into an echo chamber. I don't want to repeat what Dino says, but I agree with what Dino said there. But I just do want to make a point to anybody who thinks that we're unfair in our criticism. If we hadn't said what we've said over this last year or so, we'd be in League One, guys, with bloody Worrell and Cook as our centre-backs. Things have to be called out when they need to be called out. If we all just sat there clapping along, even when things are going bad, if we kept doing that, then there'd be no criticism, there'd be no pressure on him. We've put pressure on Cooper, we've put pressure on the team, and I think in the right way. Whether you've agreed with our comments or not, we're not just going to sit there blindly and clap along when things aren't going well, you know? So I think what we've done in one way or another, whether you agree with it or not, has made a difference. There's no doubt about there's been changes that we've seen this season that we didn't see last season. And we've been calling them out. And if you want to let's be honest, they're watching us. They're definitely watching us. So, and shout out to all the guys who are watching. We love you all. We really do. But we want the best for our club. And we want you to be the best for our club. So props to Steve Cooper for today, because he did everything, I think, right that he needed to do, right from the lineups to the substitutions, to basically outwitting Emri today. He won the tactical battle today, and that I couldn't have seen that, a few games ago. So yeah, shout out to him for what he's done. But when it is wrong, we will call it out, and we'll continue to do that. So it is balanced. It isn't flip-flop TV like some people are calling us. But when it's good, it's good. When it's bad, we'll call it out as bad as well. So yeah, respect.
I like flip-flop TV anyway. It's quite
you can say what you want. Like all YouTube content gets reported in. Like it doesn't matter if you have one viewer or 1,000 million viewers. So yeah, we know where we stand with that. So look, I gotta say,
yeah. It gets a bit tiresome, this does. Look, we're Forest fans. We want Forest to succeed. It's stupid. If
say what you like, Owen. Don't care.
If Steve Cooper does well, then you praise him. If he does badly, then you criticize him. It's not complicated. Do you have to stick because you're on YouTube or because you've got your own mindset in one particular way? Do you have to stick to that no matter what? So if Steve Cooper, if you're Cooper out, for example, you stick to that, even if all of a sudden we start playing Man City football and win the Premier League, and then next year we do the treble. You still Cooper out, are you? No, I'm Cooper out.
Aroused.
No, you go with what your eyes tell you. And today was a superb display. It was well managed. He deserves all the credit. If he continues to do this and we continue to progress, then we as a channel will support him because we're Forest fans. If he doesn't and he reverts to playing Cook and Worrell at the back and defensive 5 men at the back and even against Luton Town, then he'll get criticism. That's how it should work. And that's what we are. We are honest Forest fans.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. And let me tell you something else. I echo that, Anne. Let me tell you something else. We have been Forest fans a lot longer, certainly me and Anne, than even the players today have been alive. Yeah, and we'll always, and players will move on, managers will move on, but we'll always be there, the supporters. And so we do have an opinion, and it's important that everybody's not got the same opinion.
Yep.
But your opinion's allowed to change, Owen.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is why I want to go back to Owen's point.
I'm sure you've changed your mind on things in your life.
Yeah, I don't want to call. Don't want it to look like every time Owen makes a comment that we call it out.
No,
but Owen, can you honestly say over the last 2 years there's not been a single moment that Cooper's deserved criticism for? Because if you're saying that, then you're the one who's deluded. So that's all I'm saying on it. End of story.
Now, I'll give my 2 cents on it, right? My honest opinion, I don't really give a shit who the Forest manager is. I'll say it straight, yeah? As long as that manager is playing good football, getting us results, I don't care. It could be freaking, apart from like Hecking bottom or sitting bottom, should I say? I don't care. All I care about is what happens on the pitch. And as the boys have said, I'll kind of echo chamber up with them. When things are right, you call it out right. When things are not right, you have to have the balls to call that out as well. Plenty of other people won't do it. That gets us hate. I couldn't really give a shit. We'll just talk straight because we always do. And at the end of the day, everyone's opinion is valid, but no one's opinion is ever perfect or right. That's the kind of settings we do here. Simon with the £2, thank you so much, bro, saying only place you can have different opinions. Exactly. And as always, I mean, shout out to Rob who's in the chat, trolling away there. Where is he? There he is. I mean, that's what I like. And then anyone who wants to come on and have a debate with us to talk about any topic, everyone's more than welcome to, as Rob was. Criticism calling for him to be sacked. I haven't
You're
actually
also allowed to call any someone to be sacked.
Yeah.
Where are the rules that say
not
you can't?
Not only that. If I was to sit here and say I think he should be sacked, that's my opinion. That's all.
Yeah, super.
Rob, did you want thingy out, Hooten out?
Hooten.
Yeah, Hooten out.
Exactly. But anyway, the whole point of this was to do a praise on Cooper. On this section.
Wrong.
No, but just to answer this question, no, I have to back my club. I don't have to back the manager. I have to back my club, and that's who I support. I didn't start supporting Forest since Cooper took over. You know, I've been supporting Forest for a long, long time. Some of you guys haven't seen any better than Cooper. You've not seen us in the Premier League. Most of us here have. So there is a balance to be drawn. He's not the best manager I've ever seen. He's the best manager we've had in 20 odd years, but look at the shit he's had before him. So it's not really that high of a bar. But to be fair, like we said, go back to a point. Props when props are due, but criticism when criticism's due as well. There has to be that balance, and you can call it flip-flop and you call it what you like, but give an honest opinion.
It's a bit like the Man U situation, isn't it? Goldbridge is looking a twat now because he's just saying back Ten Hag, when everybody else can see what Ten Hag is. What a fraud! So, you know, you can draw yourself, you can paint yourself into a corner if you just like. Whatever happens, I'm him. You know, I want him to be our manager. Because sometimes
Owen, come on,
Owen, man. Honestly, I'm starting to question what you're hearing.
Yeah, I don't know what your agenda is, mate.
Calling us flip-flops.
Anyway, let's move it on. Let's move on. That is true, Will. Yeah, I don't remember the Clarkey days at all. I just watched them on YouTube. But yeah, no, the point is, shout out when they're doing fantastic. Like I say, it's a weird one. And I think what Simon said, Forest fans are extremely sensitive. They really are. Because why is it any different to saying, oh, should, I don't know, Bolly be dropped today or not?
Correct.
Like, if you lot have said Bolly should be dropped, should everyone go up in arms because Bolly's been dropped? Or when everyone is saying Shelby should be sold?
Yeah.
Is that backing your player? Why don't you back the players then if that's the case?
Yeah, that's flip-flop. But like I say, like we said, brilliant performance today from the top to the bottom. From Cooper,
including the manager.
Yeah. And the staff and the ball boys and everyone else. The thing is,
No
what
polls,
really
no.
sold him for me today was his post-match. Honestly, I was so impressed with his post-match interview because I felt like he was talking from him for once, not the, not the pre-prepared media statements and all this stuff,
Yeah, the
right?
sound bites,
It was
yeah.
just, bro, this was good. We could see they were playing a high line. The balls, we didn't quite get him in right. There was good, this, that, and the other. And it's just like, that's what I want to hear from my manager, man. That's the kind of assessment I want to hear post-match. So,
can you just bring up Arctic Fox's last comment?
We're friends anyway.
Mate, we're friends.
Still friends
We're
with
friends.
Owen.
We're friends,
And
mate.
yeah,
We
and to be
fall out with
fair,
anybody.
Football banter, man.
To be fair, they don't turn up anyway, so it's yeah. So
take the money. Take the money.
Yes, that's very
Still friends with
disrespectful
Owen.
to the 67 people that turned up.
yeah, I know, but we sold over 120 tickets. Only half of them turned up.
It was too sunny that day.
Anyway, let's.
Mr.
I
Great
want to
Day.
bring up this comment, and this will be our last topic of debate today, which is this from Ant the Hat. Can we be consistent and play like this in our next match? That's the big question. I want to just follow that up a little bit because I'm even more convinced now after today that Cooper against top 6, top 8 teams in his element. Now we're coming across West Ham, who are a low block counter-attacking team. Do you see this being as a different challenge? Is this even a harder challenge? I know it might sound weird, but do you think this might be a harder challenge for us? We're away from home as well. How do you see this one in comparison?
It's a harder challenge because we're away from home and our away record is not the best. I just hope, I'd be quite happy, to be honest, if you played exactly the same team and employed exactly the same tactics against West Ham. And I've got a kind of feeling he will, I've got a kind of feeling he will. He'll go there with a back four intending to progress the ball. Because today was nigh on perfect. So why change that? And West Ham, they're not the greatest team. They're a good side, got some good players, but they're not the best in the world. And and their stadium's nothing to fear either. They're that far back. It's not like they're on top of you and it's intimidating. So we should go there full of confidence. Hopefully play the same side, hopefully play the same tactics. And I think if we did that, we've got every chance of getting a good result against West Ham. That's how I feel. Yeah,
I think that's a great point by Jonathan there. Consistency is key. And I think it is tough on Bolly. If he's not injured and it's a selection.
Jet lagged.
Yeah, well, still, yeah. But if it is down to a tactical decision, then Cooper's got to stick with it. If he's made that decision and it's worked today, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, as Cujo has said quite rightly there. But what I want to see now, 4-3-3 is something that certainly Dino early on was one of the ones he was calling for, that as should be our set formation. And I think other than playing against a top 6 team away from home, we should be playing pretty much every game like that, And the only reason you wouldn't play it against a top 6 team away from home is for damage limitation. Because what I was saying to the guys earlier before the game as well, that we've got to understand there are certain games that we're just not going to win. We'll be honest with it. Man City away from home, you're just not going to win. Even Liverpool away from home, you might not get anything out of that. There's certain games where it might have to be a damage limitation, but for 80% of your games, you should be positive. And that formation today looked right. The only way it's going to get any better is if we keep playing it and the players get used to that formation, get used to the runs that each of them are going to make. Like the amount of times, obviously it was down to how high Villa played today, but a couple of times, getting that ball right, knowing who's going to make that run, and we'll get a lot more out of it. The lad that I was sat next to, we kept saying small margins, and it was at small margins that stopped us from getting more goals today,
Houghton, yeah. Big Mark, me and Ant will do our best to shut him up. Yeah, once we get it all firmed up in the diaries, we'll let you know when it's happening. But remember, for those of you joining late, me and Ant versus Lawless and Jace is nearly confirmed. It's like a boxing match.
I'd sneak Owen in there as well as a sub for one of you two. If one of you two get injured, I'd put Owen in there. He'd have a good go.
I put a slight caveat in what I just said about the way we play. Not everybody's going to stick 11 men over the halfway line and leave all that space behind.
true.
So we have to see how we
Yeah.
play when we do play against
True.
a low block.
Yeah.
Yeah, West
It
Ham
could
won't.
be-
West Ham
Yeah.
play low block even at home, so you know
Yeah.
we're gonna have to break
Could
it
there
down.
be a scenario
need
where the
Angola
ball's
to
just
name
in
a
the middle of
screamer.
the park? The ball's in the middle of the park and both teams are at either end.
Yeah. We scored 2 from outside the box today, so that stands as in
Yes,
good stead
yeah,
for West Ham,
That's
doesn't
true.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dino, something Ez just said there about consistency got me thinking. I don't think we've played the same. I could be wrong. I don't think we've played the same 11 this season. Would you back it up and say it's now time to kind of put your mast in the ground kind of thing? And
Yeah, I
stick to the
mean,
team?
yeah, I don't know what went wrong with Bolly, but he's had a lot of minutes. You know, he's not a young whippersnapper anymore, Bolly. So and Niakate needed the minutes, so I don't think there's anything sinister in that. But I do think that any level of consistency in football is important, but then they've got to balance it up with players getting pissed off that aren't getting games. You know, so it's a bit of a balance. But there's nothing wrong with. I mean, he's shown a lot of loyalty to people like MGW, and I think if the players play together all the time, they only get better together. But then that causes a second headache, doesn't it? Where the players are, wanting transfers because they're not getting a game. So it's a tough job.
Yeah.
It's a tough job for him.
It's a squad game.
I think with Bolly, we've got to be realistic. He's getting on. It's not as quick as he used to be. Well, he's never been quick. And Niakate is a better defender. You know, Bolly's been, as Wolfie said earlier on, probably our most consistent player this season. But at the end of the day, we can't continue to rely on him for the for the next 30 games. Whereas I'd rather myself Niakate is a better player, in my opinion.
26.
Yeah, he's mid-20s.
That's the future. Him and Murillo, man. Murillo's young.
I think there's a lot of recentism going on here, but okay, I take the point. You guys are all high on Happy Clapper Juice. I get it.
And now, where's Danilo fitting? Where's Danilo fitting in? See what I mean? We're okay. We're okay.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we've gone for an hour and a half. It's been an extended stream. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. We'll be back tomorrow with the in-depth analysis of 5 things we learned, and more importantly, Beat the Drop at its new time of 7 p.m. and it will be consistent now. I've had an absolute go at the boys and Beat the Drop. So contracts and everything sorted out. Beat the Drop 7 p.m. tomorrow night. We're gonna have some fun because Mopay scored against West Ham. I can't wait.
Oh yeah.
I thought exactly that. When I saw his score, I thought, Beat the Drop.
I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm gonna have to be neutral, so Anne, you're gonna have to take it away. We'll finish off with the £2 from the beautiful Brandon. Good night, but keep up the good work. Much love. We will catch you all tomorrow. Enjoy what's left of the weekend. Have that Happy Clapper smile on throughout the week. We'll see you tomorrow. Come on, you Reds.